What if the best drinks of summer were never sold in a store, but grown outside the back door? Long before soda cans and energy drinks, people made their own drinks straight from the garden, using mint, berries, roots, and flowers for almost nothing. Welcome back to the Garden Pantry. I'm Timothy, and today I'm sharing 15 old-fashioned garden drinks people used to make at home. If you love traditional food and simple kitchen wisdom, take a second to subscribe so you never miss a video. Stay with me, because number 9 was once called the original farmer's sports drink. Number 1, fresh mint sun tea. Mint is one of those plants that practically takes over a garden, and our grandparents knew exactly what to do with all of it. They would fill a glass jar with water, drop in a generous handful of fresh mint leaves, and set it out in the summer sun for a few hours. No stove, no electricity, just sunshine doing the slow work. By afternoon, they had a cool, clean-tasting tea that they sweetened lightly and poured over ice. A few slices of lemon or a handful of crushed berries dropped right in made it feel like a treat. It was simple, refreshing, and free. And it is still one of the easiest garden drinks you can make today. Number 2, lemon balm cooler. Lemon balm is a soft, lemony herb from the mint family, and it grows so easily that one plant can supply you all season long. People used to steep a handful of the leaves in warm water, let it cool, and add a little honey and a squeeze of lemon. The result is a calm, citrusy drink that was often served in the evening to help everyone settle down after a long day. The best part is that the plant keeps coming back, so a small patch by the door gave families a steady supply year after year. It was traditionally enjoyed as a soothing sip, and it may support everyday relaxation as part of a quiet evening routine. Number 3, elderflower cordial. When the elder bushes bloomed in early summer, families would gather the lacy white flower heads and turn them into a fragrant syrup. The flowers were steeped with sugar, water, and sliced lemon for a day or two, then strained into bottles. A splash of that cordial in a glass of cold or sparkling water made a drink that tasted like summer itself. A single batch could last for weeks in the icebox, so one afternoon of picking rewarded the whole household. One important note from the old days: people used only the flowers, since raw elderberries need to be cooked before they are safe to use. Number 4, dandelion blossom cordial. Most people today see dandelions as a weed to be sprayed, but earlier generations saw a free harvest. They picked the bright yellow blossoms on a sunny morning when the flowers were fully open, simmered the petals with water, lemon, and a little sugar, and made a light, honey-colored drink with a gentle floral taste. The only rule was to gather blossoms from a clean patch that had never been sprayed with chemicals. It was a humble drink that turned a backyard nuisance into something genuinely pleasant, and it cost nothing but a little time. Number 5, rhubarb cordial. Rhubarb grows in the same garden corner for decades, and old-time cooks used the tart red stalks for far more than pie. They would simmer chopped stalks with water and a little sugar, strain off the rosy liquid, and mix it with cold water for a bright, tangy drink some folks called rhubarbade. Served over ice on a hot day, that pink color alone made it feel special at the table. Here is the one thing every gardener knew: you use only the stalks, never the leaves, because the leaves are not safe to eat. Made right, it is one of the prettiest drinks to ever come out of a backyard. Number 6, raspberry vinegar. This one surprises people today, but a drinking vinegar made from fresh berries was once a pantry staple. Cooks would cover raspberries with a mild vinegar, let them sit for a few days, then strain and sweeten the ruby liquid. A spoonful stirred into a cold glass of water made a sweet and tangy drink that was especially welcome on a hot afternoon. The same simple method worked with blackberries, strawberries, or currants, so families used whatever the garden gave them. These old fruit drinks, sometimes called shrubs, were a clever way to stretch a short berry season across the whole summer. Number 7, sumac lemonade. Long before lemons were common in every kitchen, people made a tart pink drink from the red berries of the staghorn sumac that grows wild along fence lines and field edges. They soaked the red berry clusters in cool water, gave them a gentle rub, then strained the liquid through a cloth and sweetened it. The result tastes a lot like lemonade, with a soft pink color that always drew a second look. One safety note the old-timers never forgot: use only the upright red sumac, never the white-berried kind, which is not safe. Number 8. Chamomile tea. Many gardeners kept a small patch of chamomile just for the tiny daisy-like flowers. They would dry the blossoms in the summer and steep them through the colder months. A warm cup of chamomile in the evening was a long-standing bedtime tradition in countless households. The plant reseeds itself so easily that one small patch usually returned on its own each spring with no extra effort. It has a soft, apple-like flavor and was traditionally sipped to help the body wind down. And as part of a calm evening routine, it may support everyday relaxation. Number 9. Switchel, also known as Haymaker's Punch. This is the one I promised, and it earned the nickname the original farmer's sports drink. Back during the hot haying season, farmers needed something better than plain water to keep going in the fields. They mixed water with a little apple cider vinegar, fresh ginger, and molasses or maple syrup, then carried it out in a jug. The vinegar and ginger made it easy to drink in the heat, and the sweetener gave a quick lift of energy. Served good and cold over ice, it is refreshing, reviving, and still very much worth making today. Number 10. Sassafras root tea. The sassafras tree has a sweet root beer scent, and for generations, people dug the roots in early spring and simmered them into a fragrant tea. In fact, this old garden and woodland drink was one of the original flavors behind root beer itself. It has a warm, spicy taste that feels nostalgic the moment you smell it, and many families looked forward to that first spring batch every year. One modern note worth knowing: many people today choose a saffroll-free sassafras when they want the old-fashioned flavor, so it is easy to make a version that suits today's kitchen. Number 11. Homemade ginger beer. Real ginger beer started as a bubbly, fermented drink made right on the kitchen counter. Cooks grated fresh ginger, mixed it with water, sugar, and a squeeze of lemon, and let a natural starter do the slow work over a few days. The result was fizzy, spicy, and far livelier than anything from a bottle. Because it was non-alcoholic, the whole family could enjoy it, and children especially loved that little tingle on the tongue. It took a little patience, but families considered it well worth the wait, and homemade ginger beer is still a favorite project for anyone who likes a drink with real bite. Number 12. Sage tea. Sage is usually thought of as a cooking herb, but it also made a comforting tea for generations. A few fresh or dried leaves steeped in hot water gives an earthy, slightly peppery drink that people often enjoyed in the cooler months. A little honey and lemon rounds it out nicely. Sage is also one of the toughest plants in the garden, often staying green long after the first frost, so it was there when most other herbs had faded. It is a good reminder that many of our best drinks were never further away than the herb bed. Number 13. Fennel seed water. After a big meal, older generations often reached for a simple cup of fennel water. They steeped a spoonful of the licorice-scented seeds in hot water, let it cool a little, and sipped it slowly. It has a clean, sweet, soothing taste, and it was a long-standing way to feel comfortable after eating. The same gentle method worked with dill or caraway seed too, depending on what was drying in the pantry. As a gentle after-dinner sip, it may support everyday digestive comfort, and it is one of the easiest garden drinks on this whole list to make. Number 14. Blackberry cordial. When the brambles were heavy with fruit at the end of summer, families made the most of every berry. They simmered blackberries with water and a little sugar, sometimes adding a pinch of warm spice, like cinnamon or clove, then strained the deep purple syrup into bottles. A spoonful in a glass of cold or warm water made a rich, fruity drink that was especially loved in the cold months as a taste of summer saved in a bottle. Some folks even stirred a little into apple cider for a cozy winter version. It is comfort in a glass, plain and simple. Number 15. Rosehip tea. After the garden roses faded, the bright red hips left behind became a treasured drink. People gathered the hips after the first frost, when they were softest and sweetest, and simmered them into a tangy, fruity tea with a beautiful color. It was a traditional favorite during the long winter months, when fresh fruit was scarce, and it makes a pleasant part of a balanced diet. It is a perfect example of the old garden mindset, where nothing was wasted and even a fading rose bush still had one more gift to give. So there you have 15 old-fashioned garden drinks people used to make at home, from mint sun tea to rosehip tea, with Switchel, sumac lemonade, and elderflower cordial in between. Every one of them came from simple plants, a little patience, and the kind of kitchen wisdom that gets passed down through the years. None of them needed a fancy store or a long ingredient list, just what was already growing right outside the door. If even one of these brought back a memory or gave you something new to try this season, that is exactly what the Garden Pantry is all about. Tell me in the comments which drink you remember or want to make first. And if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can join me for the next one.